Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 4th annual Never Seen It Award Show. I'm sitting here with my wife, Betsy. My name is Trent. You know the score. If you're here for the very first time, welcome one and all to our year-end special. As I said, this is the 4th year in a row we have done this. We started out doing it as a fluke because, hey, we didn't want to do a movie for that particular week. It was the end of the year, and we just decided, you know what? Let's create some stupid categories.
We were both sick, too.
We were both sick, and that's why we didn't want to cover a movie.
But now it's our favorite annual tradition.
It kind of is, because we like to get silly. We don't have to spend time watching a movie. We're going to talk about all of our favorite and maybe not so favorite moments and movies from this year 2024.
And how this always works is Trent and I have not consulted each other about what we have picked. The only rule is we have to pick from the movies we covered that were new to us.
Yes.
So there is a different group of movies that I am selecting because it's the stuff I watched for the first time, and same thing for Trent. So there's not going to be crossover unless it was new to both of us.
Absolutely. And extra wrinkle to this is that we are also including all of the movies that qualify from our Patreon content. So if there were movies that were new to us for our Patreon stuff, we are including those in this in the selection process here.
All eligible.
Yes. On some other ground rules here. So as Betsy said, these are movies that we had not seen. We have not shared with each other what our selections are for these awards, and every single award has 3 nominees, including 1 winner. So this is not a deliberation podcast. We're not selecting the Never Seen It winner. This is my winner, and this is Betsy's winner. Because, of course, we are different people, we have different opinions, and we have a different selection of movies to pick from. The only other rule here is that we're not allowed to rewatch any of the movies that we have covered this year, which sometimes it's a really hard thing to do. But the exception to that rule is we can re-listen to all of the podcast episodes that we have recorded to kind of refresh our memory and remind ourselves, oh, remember that thing we talked about? Man, that was great. I'm going to include that in this category because, hey, we do a lot of content for you guys, and we have to help ourselves remember.
It's also been a whole year.
It's a whole damn year.
A whole year of content that we have to cull from.
Yeah. So it's over 50 episodes on Never Seen It and over 50 episodes over on Patreon, plus a few more over there. So, Betsy, I think we can get right to it. Ladies first, as usual, we actually created a brand new category this year. We sometimes we drop categories, we include new ones, but this year is brand new. We only added 1. We did not subtract any. This year we added a category, Best Hotel Movie.
This is something we have talked about where if you watch a movie and it's not like the greatest thing on planet Earth, but it's the sort of thing that if you were in a hotel room flipping through channels and you're just bored and you're waiting to go to sleep, if it was on TV, would you stop and watch it?
Yeah, like we don't have cable in this house. We only have streaming platforms and our own personal collection. But if we go to a hotel, every hotel has cable TV, and we're flipping through channels. You're just trying to pass time until you go to sleep. So what do you throw on the TV to kind of turn your brain off you, something you can watch and just not even care about it? So Betsy, as I said, ladies first, what are your 3 nominees?
So my 3 nominees for the Best Hotel Movie are Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior.
All right.
Striptease, and Bottoms.
Okay.
Those are the 3 I selected. And ultimately, my winner for the Best Hotel Movie is Striptease.
Okay.
That is some shit that if I was in a hotel and now I know what I'm looking at because I had never seen it before this year.
You know what it is now.
If I identify that movie, I am stopping on that movie, Trent.
And your other one's Mad Max 2. Why did you pick Mad Max 2 there?
Because of the 3, when we watched the trilogy, that was the one that I found the most entertaining overall.
Okay.
And it's the kind of thing that feels like a hotel movie. Like,
right.
I wouldn't just put that movie on, I don't believe. But if I were scrubbing through the channels and I stopped and I identified it, I'd stop. I'd stop and watch it.
And Bottoms? Because
it's fucking insane.
it was insane. That's a great way to put it. All right, for my selections for a hotel movie, number 1, Taken, the classic Liam Neeson movie that literally you can just throw that on. You don't need to follow what the fucking plot is. It's just action from front to back, and it's just a great time. Number 2 for me is Striptease, of course. Of course. That was one of the first movies that we covered this year, and it has stayed with us. And number 3 is Starship Troopers, because that's just fucking dumb fun.
I did have that one on a short list,
Yep.
but ultimately, I don't think I'm as apt to stop and watch that one.
I liked that one a lot more than Betsy did for sure. But yeah, that's definitely in my running here. But no, Betsy, my winner is Striptease by a mile. By a mile. Holy shit.
We're 1 for 1
Yeah.
on the same page.
Oh my God. And
There's-
go back and listen to the Striptease episode. We were just flabbergasted.
There is just something about what we're describing with a hotel movie, and Striptease is definitely a hotel movie.
It's the definition of dumb fun.
It's also the kind of thing that I would be fascinated to see how they edit it for cable, because they would make some ridiculous edits and changes.
Yeah, if it's not on HBO or Showtime or whatever, if it's on TNT.
I love that we both were going to say TNT. That's the channel for Striptease.
One more thing that I forgot to mention. This is going to be a completely spoiler-free episode. We are not going to ruin anything. And if we think we're going to, we'll warn you first and you can just kind of skip ahead.
We try really hard to just talk about the movies as a whole, not
Yeah.
specific things that will ruin the movie for you.
Yeah, and some of these categories kind of lend themselves to talking more specifically. When we get to those, you'll know.
All right, but it's time for our second category, and that is most surprising. So,
Yeah.
Trent, what are your nominees for most surprising films that you watched this year?
Yeah, and this is a category that is the expectation game. Do you not know anything about the movie? Do you have an expectation of what you think it's going to be and then it's not? Or did you have like really low expectations and it just blew you away? So my 3 nominees, starting off with The Omen, which is a movie that we covered for the Wayback Machine, one of our Patreon shows. I really knew nothing about The Omen going in. I figured it was going to be some kind of demonic possession, and it's just going to be kind of a cheesy movie, but it blew me away. I was so impressed by The Omen that, wow. Secondly was Freaky Friday, another Wayback Machine episode that brought us to 2003 to cover Freaky Friday. I fucking love that movie, just not only because of the nostalgia of, hey, it's 2003.
It's aggressively 2003.
Oh my God, it's so great. And I expected to kind of hate that movie because, hey, it's Lindsay Lohan and there's all sorts of shit about her that, man, they were just trying to shove her down everybody's throat. And no, that's a great movie. And 3 is Striptease. I was so surprised that I love that movie so much. But my winner, by far, it's The Omen. I was blown the fuck away by The Omen. I love that movie, and I think eventually, we'll get to this at the end of the show, but eventually we'll probably do more in The Omen pantheon. But Betsy, what do you got?
Well, first, I want to address the fact that you picked 2 movies that we watched from the Wayback Machine. And if people haven't subscribed to our Patreon, a brief description of what that show is we spin a wheel that takes us to a specific year. Now, it's the Wayback Machine. It's, a device that sends us there. But
of course,
in reality, it's just a randomizer.
It's literally a randomizer that we throw in every single year between 1960 and 2010. It takes us to that year, and we have to watch a movie that is in the theater at the time for that month.
And this is your least favorite of our content. Anything that we put together, you are always fighting with me on what movies to watch because you hate not being in control of your own destiny. And that is 2 out of those 3 movies that you ultimately loved because you trusted the process.
Well, and it's also because it's most surprising. I have no control over that. I love, we love to painstakingly select all of the movies that we cover for all of our shows because it is for us, it is also for you guys. So if the Wayback Machine sends us to a movie that I don't want to fucking see, but we do it anyway, and it's great, that's even better.
It just sometimes takes some convincing for you, but other times you see The Omen and you're like, okay, let's do it. Let's do The Omen. And then you surprise yourself. All right, so my 3 nominees for most surprising are striptease.
Yeah.
And the reason for this is because you and I were under an absolute misapprehension about what this movie was. And for nearly 30 years, this movie has existed, and I didn't know it was a goddamn comedy.
It's fully a
How
comedy.
did I not know that? That was the most surprising thing. My second nominee was The Conversation,
Okay.
because it was one that I only really recently had heard of. I didn't really know much about it.
Yeah, we did it for our Decade series back in 1974.
It just celebrated its 50th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew things about it, but I didn't know that there would be a movie that changes based on inflection.
Yeah.
Not to give anything away from this movie,
Yeah.
but it boils down to inflection, and I will leave it at that.
Yeah.
And my third nominee is Train to Busan, because I had been hearing for years that this is a zombie movie. What I didn't expect was that I would find myself very emotional watching a zombie movie.
Emotionally attached to a lot of the people in the zombie movie, because in normal zombie movies, everybody's just fucking fodder. Like, this guy's gonna die, that guy's gonna die. Maybe two people are gonna survive, and that's it.
So ultimately, my winner is Train to Busan.
Okay.
Because I have seen other zombie movies, and this is unlike any zombie movie I've ever watched.
It's better than it has any right to be as a zombie movie, as a genre movie.
Shocked the hell out of me, and I
Yeah.
was here for it.
Fucking A. All right, next category is actually one that I had kind of a hard time with. It's weird, but depending on the year, this is what it is. Next category up is movie you most want to rewatch now. And I emphasize now because there's plenty of movies that we cover that we definitely want to watch again eventually, but these are the movies that, holy shit, we just watched the movie and I want to go back, either back into the theater and watch it again, or just hit play on the TV again. Betsy, what are your three movies in this category?
You're right, Trent. There are so many movies this year that I really wanted to rewatch. I had probably 10 on this list.
Wow.
I had to keep culling it down.
I had a
and
hard time
down
getting
and down.
3.
Oh, no, because it's that word now. And yes, I want to rewatch them. It's how bad do I want to rewatch them? So ultimately, I think I'm satisfied with the 3 I have selected. But it wasn't easy to get here. So the 3 movies I most want to rewatch now are Long Shot,
Okay, yeah.
because that was an unexpected rom-com that we watched, and it was, again, a hidden gem I didn't know I needed in my life.
Yeah, we did that for our Real Love show just a couple of months ago, and it blew us away.
My second nominee is Twisters,
Okay.
because if you recall, I said when we did that movie, if I had the time to go do it again the same day or the same week,
Go
I
back to the
absolutely
theater.
would have done it.
Yeah, so far that's a movie we haven't bought yet, but it's Christmas time. We might get some deals here.
We'll see. It was on both of our lists.
I
think.
did end up buying the Twister, the original 4K disc to have in the home, so yeah.
And my third nominee was The Conversation, because once we got to the end of that movie, I'm like, well, shit, now I need to go back and examine how that change in my brain makes me view the rest of the movie.
I remember you really being fascinated with The Conversation. I'm not surprised that it's on your list.
But ultimately, I picked Twisters because I am really excited about the fact that that movie didn't suck. I was really, really concerned that movie was going to be bad
Yeah.
for the amount of time that we have invested in the first one of those movies. It needed to be good. If it was bad, it would have ruined my whole summer.
Both of us, yes.
It would have been terrible. And I could not get over how much fun I had at that movie. So when I say I wanted to turn around and do it again, I'm serious. But because I follow the rules of the podcast and I didn't rewatch it, and I'm waiting to see if we get it.
You didn't sneak out of the house to go
No,
watch it again by yourself.
I didn't lie and keep it a secret and do it on my own. When would I have had the time, Trent? But yes,
Yeah.
ultimately, I cannot wait to watch that one again.
All right. Well, surprisingly, I have 3 completely different nominees for my list for movies I want to rewatch now. First of all, a movie that you had seen before, you're introducing it to me. The movie Brick, the first Rian Johnson movie that he ever put out. I was immediately turned on by the idea of this weird noir, but it's based in a high school. And, it's baby Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but it's beyond when he was like baby Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And it's the beginning of the Rian Johnson oeuvre that has just propelled him into one of the most in-demand directors out there. But the nature of the movie itself, it's really hard to get your first time watch. And I just wanted to turn back around again after I got it and rewatch it again just to get everything else that I missed.
And I definitely think that is one of those, and I said at the time, where it bears repeating because
Definitely.
there's so much there.
My second nominee, I'm surprised that you didn't have this on yours because it was another one of these summer movies that we went to the theater to see. Deadpool and Wolverine, of course. Oh my God, I cannot believe we haven't turned on Disney Plus and watched that again. Fuck.
Okay, listen, I definitely want to rewatch it again, but it's that keyword now.
Yeah, it was a lot. You're right. Watching it again right away would maybe be too much, but still, it's been a while since we've seen it. And hey, anyway, my number 3 is Blade Runner. Because again, I saw that movie for the first time. You had already seen it before, so I remarked while watching it was maybe one of the coolest movies I've ever seen before, and I want to drink it in again.
You literally went out and bought the 4K.
I did.
Right after we finished.
Oh my fucking God. And we'll talk more about Blade Runner in a little while, I'm sure. But my winner out of this group is Deadpool and Wolverine.
I'm not surprised.
It's been burning in the back of my brain that, fuck, man, that is it's such a fun movie to watch.
And it's one of those movies that people had a lot of opinions about, and they're all valid, but it's just fun. We thought it was so fun, and I get it. Like, I would love to rewatch that movie, but it's the now. Now is the operative word.
Yeah.
Well, from the movie you most want to rewatch now, we're going to shift to the other end of the spectrum, and that is the movie you never want to see again. So, Trent, because I think you had a lot more first-time watches this year,
definitely.
I'm really curious, what are your 3 nominees?
So I went back and forth with these quite a bit, and I didn't want to be too negative with this category. There was one in here that I want to just mention. It's not one of my 3, but we covered for our Oscar special The Zone of Interest, nominated for Best Picture last year. It's a great movie, but it's a movie you never need to see again. You absorb it once, that's all you need.
It's not a negative connotation.
Yes, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying you never need to see it again.
Yeah. Emotionally, spiritually, you've experienced it. You understand what it is.
That's enough.
You can put it on the shelf forever.
All right. So that being said, my 3 nominees for a movie I never want to see again. Number 1, Mystery Men. The 1990 whatever classic, quote unquote. I found that movie to be annoying. I found everybody in the movie to be annoying. Most of the people anyway. I just never want to see that movie again. The more time has gone by, the more I kind of hate that movie.
You are not going to join the cult of Mystery Men.
Definitely not. Oh, number 2, Betsy. For the show Real Love on Patreon, you made me watch a movie that I never want to see again. That is a movie with the name Simply Irresistible. Oh, objectively, that might be the worst movie we have ever covered for any show in existence of ours.
I'm not going to disagree with you. It is objectively a terrible movie.
That movie sucks.
But I couldn't resist. I called an audible. I wasn't planning on doing that movie that month, but you said something and it had to happen.
All right, fair enough. And the final one being Team America World Police. Not because, hey, I hated it or it was bad or anything like that. It's just, you don't need to see it again. It's fucking puppets. It's fucking marionettes, whatever you want to call them. I saw it. I laughed. I don't need to experience it again.
You get it.
I got it. And I wish that I maybe would have seen it way back when it was new so I got the context. And, 20 years later, man, that's a lot. It's a lot to absorb.
It was a lot in 2004. It's still a lot.
Yeah, I think I could maybe suffer through it one more time. Man,
you don't need to.
I don't need to. But of course, my winner is Simply Irresistible.
Well, yeah.
Of course. Oh, God.
When we watch aggressively bad movies or movies that we just genuinely disliked, this category gets really easy.
Betsy, I'm going to reveal something that happened during the recording of that episode. Or not the recording of the episode, but just watching the movie. something we talked about in the episode. I paused Simply Irresistible twice in the course of just watching it. I paused it twice because I needed to walk away from the screen because something happened on there that I just could not understand.
It was so stupid and so bad that you were like, I'm gonna need a minute.
I need to walk away for just a minute just so that I can recompose myself and come back so we can finish the damn thing. So that's my winner. Betsy, what do you got?
So for me, there were not a lot of movies this year where I aggressively disliked them, where I'm like, fuck that movie. I don't need to see it again. I'm not interested.
It's a lot harder for you this year.
I think that this year it's more like the first one you chose. I have seen it. Okay, I'm fine with that experience.
Okay.
So the movies that I selected for the ones I never want to see again. First up was Maestro.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of at the bottom of our best picture list this year.
It was at the bottom.
It's fine. It's just fine. It wasn't for me. It should be. Like, on the surface, structurally, that's the kind of movie that seems like something I would be really into.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a Betsy movie.
But it just feels like Bradley Cooper trying really, really hard. And so I wasn't that into it. I don't need to experience it again.
That's fair.
If it's your cup of tea, great, more power to you. Not for me. The second movie, I put Starship Troopers because it's not that I disliked it, but when I was going back through this whole year of movies that we covered, I kind of haven't invested a lot of time thinking about it at all. I just sort of watched it and moved on with my life.
All right.
So to fill out the category, it came into the list. So there you go. And my third one is Wonder Woman.
Okay, yeah.
Because after years and years of wondering about the DCU and being told that Wonder Woman is the best of the best, and then I watch it, I'm like, this movie kind of sucks, and this is the best of the best. So
that's what we're told anyway.
That's what I've been told. So ultimately, I found there were a lot of problems with it. I thought there were some illogical jumps. I didn't really like the flow. And ultimately, this is the one I picked for I don't need to see it again because it was so messy to me that I'm just like, no. I was really, really hopeful for that movie.
Yeah, we are far enough along when Wonder Woman came out in the MCU where they had kind of hit their stride, but the DCU was still coming into its own, and they just didn't learn anything from watching the MCU movies, and it was just lagging behind just storytelling and presentation and everything. Yeah, I don't think we never need to see that again. That's a really good choice. All right, moving on to the next category. This one happens to be all in caps because it's the thing that Betsy and I yell at each other right after we watch a movie. This category is called, What the Hell Did We Just Watch? So, Betsy, why don't you go ahead? I think that's self-explanatory. We don't need to give a description about that one. But, Betsy, what are your three?
So my three nominees, and this was hard because I'm going to be honest, I had four that I was really considering. So I did narrow it down to three, though, that I ultimately feel like fit. The first one I picked, I mentioned previously, and that is Bottoms, because it was what I was expecting, but also amped up so much more than what I was expecting.
It went further than what I was expecting it to go, and I just appreciated it that much more.
Absolutely. The second nominee is Natural Born Killers, which was a movie that I believe at the time we watched it, we said that phrase out loud. What the hell did we just watch?
I said it, and I also said that's probably a front runner for me for this category.
Because they are throwing absolutely every goddamn thing at the wall stylistically.
At your eyeballs.
At your eyeballs. It is a lot, that movie.
Yeah.
And the third one should come as no surprise. It is The Substance. Because I think that everybody who knows even the smallest amount about The Substance knows it is destined to be in this category. Ultimately, my winner, though, was Natural Born Killers because it is just so much of so many things, and it is overwhelming at times that I could not help but feel just, what What was that movie
Yeah,
when
and
it was
you
done?
had a harder time really getting into Natural Born Killers, especially for the first half of the movie.
Yes.
You kind of weren't feeling it, and then by the end of it, you started to buy in and really, really get it.
There was kind of a turn.
Yeah. Well, I'll start right there. One of my nominees is, of course, Natural Born Killers because of everything that you just said. It was overwhelming to the senses. It was unrelenting. It did not stop from beginning to end. There's so many different set pieces that he's just setting up and knocking down, and it's just frantic. I could not look away from that movie. And we left it just asking the question, what the hell did we just watch? Number 2 for me is Striptease, because again, we came out of that being completely surprised by what it was, and I really liked it, which is, of course, why it won most surprising for me. And the fact that they pulled off a stripper movie comedy and it's a good movie. I had a great time watching it.
Good is generous.
It's not maybe like objectively good, but I had a great time watching it, and I know you did too. My third is a movie that we haven't really talked about all that much. It's one of the first, it might even be the first movie we covered this year. It's the Netflix movie White Noise.
That was my number 4, Trent.
Yeah, and Bottoms was number 4 for me.
So there you go.
We just swapped them out.
We had kind of the same list. We knew the type of movie we were thinking about.
So go and watch White Noise or not. I mean, it defies description, that movie. I don't even think it being like a year out, I can't even describe what that movie was, but I re-listened to that episode and I was reminded, oh, yeah, this movie's fucking weird. And not in like a really bad way, but it's a mind fuck.
It's either going to be the kind of thing, if you like a weird movie,
Yeah.
that'll get under your skin and you think about it and want to go back and do it again, or it's so weird that you can't handle it.
And in my case, I think I tried to put it out of my mind because by the end of it, I don't think I really liked it. But anyway, my winner is, of course, Natural Born Killers, like you.
It's just so much. It's so much of a movie in
Yeah.
the best and worst ways.
Yeah.
All right, well, on to our next category. This is the best looking movie. And you can interpret this category however you want.
It could be, hey, there's a lot of really beautiful people on screen. It could be, hey, the stylistic choices are really cool. It could be just the cinematography of it. Anything that you like to look at can qualify you for this category.
So, Trent, what are your 3 nominees for the best looking movies that you saw this year?
This one was kind of tough for me because I had like 7 different options here and I kept on swapping things in and out for my final 3, but I finally landed on number 1 being the movie Poor Things, which was near the top of both of our Oscar lists for
I think it
last
was
year.
my top.
I think it was your top, yeah. Poor Things is a movie that I said in that episode that I just want to go back and witness it again because there's so much shit in the background. It is filmed in a way that no other movies are filmed like. There's weird fisheye lenses. There's weird blurring of backgrounds. There's just stuff in the background. There's secrets in there. And it's a visual movie more than anything else. So that's why it's on my list. Number 2 for me is no surprise. Blade Runner is my number 2 movie in here because it just looks so fucking cool. For 1982, he built this world that I just want to inhabit because I said it in the episode. I love a futuristic sci-fi movie that is still kind of dirty and dingy because I don't like the future depicted as like clean and tidy and whatever else. I want it to be fucking dirty.
You're more into dystopia.
Yes, that's really my shit. And Blade Runner for me was just one of the coolest movies I've ever looked at. And number 3 was just a movie we covered last week, The Substance. Because of all of the things I've already mentioned, it is a weirdly shot movie. I mentioned it there where these long corridor shots just permeate the entirety of the movie. The makeup of all of the people, let's say, who are the main characters in the movie are made up in a really fucked up way. The lighting, the colors, it's a feast for the eyes.
That one just barely got cut from my list. That was my number 4 because there's this like sugar pop music video thing going through part of it. There's this really dark stuff going on. They play a lot with light and shadows. There's color, there's black, there's a lot that went into that movie.
And it beat out a whole lot of other movies on my list here that I was very surprised that did not make it. But ultimately, my winner is Blade Runner, just because of all the things that I said in the episode. And here right now, it is the coolest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. And I just want to live in that world.
And it's thorough. He clearly
Yes.
thought about every detail. And sometimes you make movies like that and you can see that they sort of thought about it, but they leave a lot out. Doesn't feel like that when watching Blade Runner.
Definitely. That's my winner. Betsy, what do you got?
Okay, so my first nominee is Raging Bull, because this
Okay.
movie is, to me, the most aesthetically 1940s movie that wasn't made in the 1940s.
I mean, it's a black and white thing
And
that is evoking that period of time. Yeah.
And for where Scorsese was mentally and emotionally and where he was in his career, for him to pull that out, and it really doesn't look like any other movie I've ever seen Martin Scorsese do.
Totally.
So it is just an objectively beautiful movie. And black and white helps. Like, that's not easy to make a black and white movie, especially in 1980 or whenever that came out. And nobody's really making black and white movies anymore. It's a choice. It is a stylistic choice. And I think
It's a risky choice, too.
I literally, to finalize this list, I went to the IMDb page and was just looking at the pictures. And it just really solidified the individual frames from this movie. The man hit it exactly what he was trying for, and I was on board for it.
Yeah.
My second nominee is Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
Because this is a style movie. It is style first and foremost because it is set in the 1970s. It is found footage. It is mixing the old stuff and new stuff.
Yeah, it nails the aesthetics that it's really trying to go for.
And if it doesn't nail it, that movie doesn't work.
You're right.
Like, that movie falls apart if you do not believe that this is found footage from 1977 or whatever year that took place.
Right.
And my third nominee is Dune Part 2.
Wow, all different selections here.
All very different, okay? And the reason I picked Dune Part 2 is, number one, it's just a massive, beautiful
Yeah.
fucking movie.
I had a hard time not saying this one, yeah.
Denis Villeneuve knows what the hell he is doing, and his cinematographer is doing the work. But I just kept coming back to when they introduced the Austin Butler character, and they go to that planet, and it's black and white, and it's infrared, and the fireworks in the sky are splatters of paint.
Yeah.
Like, who thinks of this? And, you know, some of the most insane, like, moments of cinema where I'm holding my breath because it's so goddamn amazing what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But ultimately, my winner, and maybe this is controversial, I picked Late Night with the Devil. Because as I said, if this movie is not impeccably made,
Has to be perfect.
it doesn't work. And there's this shift at the end of the movie where they start throwing in stuff that doesn't fit the 1970-some model. But in the plot, it makes total sense. And your brain, like, notices it but doesn't notice it. And then they just snap back to the present. Yeah, I was on board for that movie. I was on board for how it looked. And that's why ultimately that was my winner for best looking.
All right, I wanted to throw in some honorable mentions
Yes,
for this
please,
particular
'cause
category.
this is a big category.
Number one is kind of a jokey joke one, but I chose Chef, but not because of the way everything is shot. I just like to look at the food.
Listen, another one I thought of was Hitman. Those people are beautiful. I love looking at Hitman.
That's why I said, and when we were introducing the category, it could just be people on screen. Like, you had already seen all the Magic Mike movies, at least the
Yes.
first two. You could have
Yes.
said that one.
I could have.
Well, you had already seen it, so you couldn't. But I also said Ben-Hur because, hey, that was really, really impressive.
That's a fucking epic to end all epics.
Yeah. Another selection for me that I did not put on my list was Black Hawk Down, just because of, hey, this is the fucking desert and everybody is sweating and it's just awful to be there. And another one that I almost put this on my list was Mary Poppins.
Really?
Yeah. Just because, hey, I know this came out in 1964.
Yep.
Yeah, 64. and it's the melding of the live action and the animation and everybody's costumes, and it remains impressive even that many years beyond it. Well, all right, with that, I think we are 6 in. We have 6 more to go, so we're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back with the rest of the list. This season, give yourself the gift you've always wanted. It's not a new car, and certainly not diamond jewelry. It's premium podcasts from the industry's leading connoisseurs of conversation. For only $5 a month, you will receive the most privileged access to their entire catalog. Patreon.com/NeverSeenItPod. Only the best for the discerning listener. And we are back. Betsy, our next category is called Movie You Can't Stop Thinking About, which is, again, kind of self-explanatory, but it's a movie that has just kind of stayed with you and you can't stop thinking about it for whatever reason.
Whatever that means.
It could be negative, it could be positive, whatever it happens to be. But Betsy, why don't you go ahead?
So my first nominee for this category is The Conversation.
All right.
For all the reasons I mentioned before, it is the kind of movie that changed on a dime for me, and it made me want to go back and rewatch it. And so I've just been stewing on it, thinking about it.
You're also questioning your own mind.
Yeah. What was real? What wasn't real? If I watch it again, how am I going to feel about it? My second nominee is Train to Busan. Once again, for all the reasons I mentioned before, I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in an upcoming category.
Gee, I wonder which one that is.
I'll hold those thoughts until that time as to why I can't stop thinking about it. And my third one, I went back and forth about what to put as my third nominee, and I ultimately landed on The Omen.
Yeah.
For everything you were talking about before, because I think there are movies where you and I will just look at each other in conversation in passing and go, hey, remember that time we watched The Omen?
Yeah.
Hey, remember that time we watched this movie? And The Omen is one of those that we have mentioned many times since this summer when we watched it. So ultimately, it had to go on my list. But my winner is The Conversation, just because it's something that has been under my skin since I watched it, and I really want to go back and revisit it to see it again, to find the things I maybe missed, to experience that, to see if I feel the same way or if I feel completely different, if it just becomes more of a puzzle to me or things start to lock into place. It's the kind of thing that I've just spent a lot of headspace on the last few months.
I feel like you really want to study a movie like that.
Yes.
Because there's things in there, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's things in there where you're questioning, hey, did I see it the way I actually saw it? Or did I hear something that I didn't actually hear? And vice versa. It's a movie that is really well constructed. And I'll just start there. I also had The Conversation on my list for all the reasons that you said. It kept on burrowing in my brain, like all those questions remain. Did I hear everything the way I heard it? Did I see everything the way I saw it? And if I were to watch it again, would I have a different interpretation? Another one I chose was Natural Born Killers. Because of all of the things we've already said, Natural Born Killers is a movie that has stayed with me from the time that I watched it to the time this morning when I re-listened to our episode. Seriously, I listened to that episode today. And my third one is a movie that you could not put on your list, Betsy, and I did because this is maybe the most fun that we had in any episode this year. I chose Escape to Witch Mountain as my number 3.
Yes. The original one from the 70s.
Yes. The Wayback Machine sent us back to 1970 whatever to make us watch the original Escape to Witch Mountain, the Disney classic. And oh my God, when I tell you that Betsy and I had the most fun doing that episode, go and sign up on Patreon, listen to that episode where Betsy ended up fucking crying because she was laughing so hard.
I could barely get through that episode. It was so much fun.
It was so great. So yes, it's not just the movie that has stayed with me, but the recording of the episode has also stayed with me. I've probably listened to that one more than any other one this year, if you can believe it. But my winner for movie that I cannot stop thinking about is Natural Born Killers. We've already said everything about it. I don't need to go any further. That movie has really stuck with me all year long.
Good or bad, whatever you think about it,
Absolutely.
it makes you think. All right, Trent. Well, that leads us into our next category, and that is the most disappointing. So, Trent, what are your 3 movies that you considered your most disappointing watches of 2024?
The complete polar opposite of most surprising. It's about expectations. If you think that you're going to really, really like a movie going in and you end up disappointed, or even if you had low expectations, then it's even worse. That also can be included here. And honestly, I had a hard time with this one because so many of the movies we've watched this year have been really good.
I agree. I had a little bit of a struggle with this, but when we're talking about expectations and did the movie meet the expectations and it didn't, then it's by definition disappointing.
So to start off, the movie that was never, ever going to live up to whatever expectations that we had, and I knew it going in. My first selection is Furiosa: A Mad Max Saga. Now, again, we knew going in it was never going to live up to Fury Road. We were really apprehensive when it first got announced that, oh my God, are they going to fuck up the sequel or the spinoff of Fury Road? And they didn't quite fuck it up, but at the very least, I was bound to be disappointed, and I was. My second one was actually included in the same series of women-led movies, Wonder Woman. Again, everything you said about the other category. We went into Wonder Woman being told, yeah, Wonder Woman, if you're going to watch a DCU movie, go and watch Wonder Woman, and it'll either wet your whistle and make you want more of that universe, or it's going to completely turn you off. And I was completely turned off to the point where I don't know if we're ever going to do another DCU movie. That's fucked up. And my final disappointing movie was the original Mad Max. For our show on Patreon called Box Set, we covered the original Mad Max trilogy with Mel Gibson. The first of those movies, the original Mad Max, I was expecting more. I was expecting whatever is in that movie that is going to lead up to Fury Road. It's not there. And I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but I had such high expectations for what Mad Max had been set out to be. The expectation was so high with Fury Road because at the time, that was the only Mad Max content that I'd ever absorbed.
Yeah, I think the problem with this category in particular is our own expectations.
Yes.
We're only disappointing ourselves.
Totally. And I wanted the original trilogy to really fill in all the gaps, and I got none of it. Which is why, I mean, it's on the list, but it's not my most disappointing. My most disappointing is Wonder Woman because it killed the opportunity for us to even cover any DCU movie. At least it's, discouraging for me to even want to do it.
We were already hesitant, and we finally were like, let's dip our toe in. And then it's just like, well, fuck that.
Yeah.
Well, I've been a little bit quiet because there is some overlap on our list, Trent. Let's just say that. So the first one that I have on my list was not on your list, and that was Hustlers. I didn't dislike Hustlers. I think it is a quality movie, but I think my problem with that one was my own expectations.
The internet really, really loved Hustlers and made it seem like, oh shit, this is a great, great movie.
And sometimes you hear that hype and you watch the movie and it meets the hype. Like I saw this one, it was a good movie, but I thought it was gonna be better. Like my expectation was that this movie was goddamn incredible, and I just found it less than what it was described to me as.
That's fair, yeah.
My second nominee is also Furiosa, for the reasons you said, and also just, it looked cheap. We were concerned from the trailer that they first dropped.
Yeah, the first
one.
one.
The computer animation was really bad. The CG was really bad in the trailer that they dropped.
And in the lead up to the release of the movie, they started putting out more trailers and it started to look better and better. Like, okay, you finally dialed it in. It's gonna be at least approaching maybe like 70 to 80% of Fury Road. But no, it just did not even approach it.
And it's just so aesthetically different from all of the rest of those Mad Max movies. At the time we watched Furiosa, we had only seen Fury Road. So it was our only point of reference. And so we watched the original trilogy, and all of those other Mad Max movies are so practical out of necessity or just because they said, you know what, fuck it, let's do it for real.
Yeah.
And it just felt like spiritually such a different movie with Furiosa. I don't think it's the worst movie ever. I think if we were to rank all the Mad Max, you'd probably not put it at the bottom.
It's not.
But there was just enough that they could have done that they didn't do, or I was left with questions, or I didn't like the fact that we had to somehow tie it into the rest of the universe. The best spin-off stuff tends to be on its own and has nothing to do with the universe that you're trying to connect it to.
Yeah, and just a reminder, we're not saying any of these movies are bad.
No.
It's just, hey, we are so disappointed. We wanted it to be so much better, and it just wasn't.
And of course, my third nomination was also Wonder Woman because it should have been so good. I was under the impression this was the best thing the DCU had to offer. And then I found out that this is the best thing the DCU has to offer.
Yeah.
And I hated that. And so it's my winner as well, because I wanted it. I had such an expectation. We were finally like, we're going to do it. We're going to go into the DCU. We're going to see what's going on over there.
There's so much potential there for even content for us. We could have an entire fucking series. We could have a Patreon show about all the DCU shit and us being introduced to it all. But no, we can't do it because we got turned off so much.
It was icky. I didn't like it. It was stupid. I hated it.
But as long as we're talking about, hey, we're feeling our emotions and whatnot, a category that we liked, I think we introduced this last year, a category we like to talk about, oh God, it is movie that made you cry. And I think we had fewer movies this year that really qualify for this. I had a hard time really picking my three. I think I only had like 4 in the running. But Betsy, why don't you go first?
Yeah, there were only a few movies this year where I definitely know that I cried. They were all kind of, I feel like, backloaded. Like the front of the year, we did a lot of really fun movies, things that didn't make me think very hard, things that didn't make me feel my feelings. Even with all the Oscar ones, there was some that got close. But when I'm talking crying, I mean, I was crying.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was more to the latter half of this year as 2024 wore on and we started diversifying some of the selections that I noticed I was crying and getting more emotional. And the 3 movies that I have in this category, first and foremost, is Train to Busan.
Of course.
I said it a little bit ago. This movie has stuck with me because I thought I was going to watch a Korean zombie film. I did not know that by the end of the movie, I would have full-on tears rolling down my face. And not like a little crying, like I was crying at the end of this movie. The second movie that made me cry is a recent one that we have not touched on yet, and it was Anora. Because I go on this emotional journey with her, and then right at the end of the movie, there is this release. And I'm sitting in the theater with the tears rolling down my cheeks.
I did not include Anora, but I maybe should have because, again, I don't think I was like crying like you, but I certainly had, I think I mentioned in the episode, I had the quivering lip that I get sometimes when I'm feeling the feelings. And yeah,
you came close.
I really felt that moment.
And my third nominee should come as no surprise because it's Thelma, where I was once again full body sobbing.
Oh, man, yeah.
I think mostly because I was thinking about my own parents and my own grandmothers, and that it's going to be really, really hard in the coming years when they're not around anymore.
Yeah, it was also more of a happy cry in a way.
It was and it wasn't. Ultimately, though, the one I picked was Train to Busan because I didn't see it coming. And I think usually with this category, that's the one that I go with because it shouldn't be here. Why am I feeling these feelings?
We were even warned, though. Our superfan Stephanie told us that is a movie that she cries at every single time that she watches it. We knew about it.
But we didn't have context.
We still put it on our list. And I'll just start. I also chose Train to Busan to be on my list because of all those things that you said. As far as intensity of my crying, that was number 1 because of what happened at the end of that movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, of course, because that's not what we do here. But if you know, you know. My second one, And I think you were surprised at my reaction when we watched the movie. My second selection is Long Shot, the movie that we covered a couple of months ago for Real Love. It is a movie that neither of us had seen. It's about a politician and a writer who come together in a very unnatural way, but it's just a great story, and it's one of the best movies that we watched. And I cried. It was weird to say, but I did.
You didn't know you were going to cry when you watched that movie. On
Definitely.
the surface, there's so many things about that movie that are unexpected.
Yeah. On the last one on my list was a movie that got nominated for Best Picture last year. We covered Past Lives. Now, I don't think I cried during the movie itself. I will give you that. But when doing the episode for it, I started to think, and we were ruminating about all of our own personal things. And if you really want to hear about some of our own personal stories with relationships and whatever, go and watch that movie. It's a beautiful movie, and we had a great time covering it. We get very emotional in the episode, and I especially did. But when thinking about the movie and the storyline all put together, it makes me emotional about my own life, and those are the movies that really touch me. But, Betsy, my winner is Train to Busan, of course, because of the intensity. Good God.
We were both like full body crying at the end of that movie. And it's the unexpected turn. Like, that's what gets me, where I'm expecting one kind of movie and then by the end I'm crying. Any movie that can accomplish that is okay in my book.
Yeah. One other kind of honorable mention in that category, just because I only had 4, was the movie Uncle Buck, which is one that we did for our Wayback Machine. And just because, hey, I am also an uncle myself, and I can see myself in the Uncle Buck character. And, we don't have any kids, and that is really the thing that I can embody here. And I really like the story between Uncle Buck and the older girl in that movie. And it's just a sweet movie, and it really got to me.
Listen, I'm pretty sure I also cried in that, but I had seen the movie, so I can't vote for it.
You can't vote for it, so I get to say it.
All right, well, it's time for our next category. And this is a fun one because this is so broad. This can be big, small, whatever you want it to be. It is your favorite moment or sequence. So, Trent, tell us your 3 nominees for favorite moment or sequence this year.
Yet another one that I had a really hard time narrowing it down. I have, I think, 6 or 7 selections on my list here.
Ditto.
But getting it down to 3, I had to basically throw a dart at the wall. Number 1 is the opening sequence to Deadpool and Wolverine, where he's dancing to Bye 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 from NSYNC. It is the most, I think I laughed this entire year. It was the loudest I laughed in a movie theater up to this point, and it's just ridiculous.
Trent, I literally wrote Deadpool and Wolverine for favorite moment or sequence.
You can't do that.
I can't. Well, no, I didn't vote for it because I literally couldn't narrow it down. I have 3 other ones I'm going to talk about, but I literally just wrote Deadpool and Wolverine because there's so many things you could pick from.
You can't choose, but hey, the opening sequence for me is just the best. Number 2 for me was, it's hard for me to even say favorite, but it's just the most impressive because my mouth was agape at just witnessing it. It is the scene. It is kind of an aside. It's a flashback scene in the movie Natural Born Killers, where it's Rodney Dangerfield on screen playing this weird Archie Bunker archetype. It's an all in the family type of a thing, where he is just this vile human talking all sorts of shit about his daughter, and it's just the weirdest sequence. But as I said, this is a cutaway thing. This is a flashback to a moment where, hey, these 2 people meet for the first time, and it's one of the weirdest and most intense things I've ever seen in a movie. And yeah, it's incredible. And my third and final selection in this is from the movie Blade Runner. It is the sequence where Harrison Ford is sitting down at his quote-unquote computer. He is scanned in a photograph that has a whole bunch of stuff in the photograph that he wants to analyze. And it is the origination of the trope in movies where you can enhance, go to this quadrant of this thing, go over to here, focus on this thing. He's talking to the computer, and the computer is doing what he is saying in 1980 fucking 2. Betsy, that is my winner for favorite moment or sequence, because I was literally on the edge of my seat because I thought it looked so fucking cool in context for the time in which this movie was made. I'm way into computers, and that right there was impressive as hell.
And it's a noir, it's a mystery, so you're like, what's he gonna solve
It's a detective
here?
thing, and he's trying to find out some information here. It is so great.
It's a clue. What's the clue?
Oh, enhance.
Enhance.
So yes, that is my winner here. I want to talk about some honorable mentions, but after you select yours, Betsy, what do you got?
All right, so first up, I mentioned this movie once already, and so did you, and that is the scene where Charlize Theron is doing a hostage negotiation while she is on Molly in Long Shot.
Yes.
This is one of the funniest sequences in the movie, and I've never seen Charlize Theron be funny the way she is in this movie, especially in this particular scene.
She goes for it, man.
And aesthetically, there's this single shot that I said I wanted as artwork, where she's like wearing fucking confetti and she has sunglasses and she's chain smoking and she's just like on the phone squatting by the wall. Everything about it was so perfect. I was obsessed with it. My second one is a very small sequence in one of the movies you touched on. It's when Mark Ruffalo tries to throw a woman overboard in Poor Things.
Yes.
Like, he's such a buffoon in this movie, and he gets so frustrated with this woman that he starts grabbing her deck chair and dragging her. And the woman is just like, oh, I've never been thrown overboard. Yes, let's go. Makes me laugh. It's so fucking funny. And my third one is completely different. Not a moment that made me laugh, but a moment that I was sitting mouth agape, holding my breath in the theater. And it is when Paul rides the sandworm in Dune Part 2.
All right.
Where he's running across the edge of the sand dune and it's collapsing beneath him. And he dives into nothing. And there's just like clouds of dust. And you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Like, all of the people watching are like cheering it on, and they're also amazed by what they're witnessing because they've never seen a worm this big. Wow. Yeah.
It's fucking cinema. And I was here for it. Ultimately, my winner, though, is the hostage negotiations on Molly.
Fucking
because, just seriously, I have never seen Charlize Theron as funny as she is in that sequence. And I didn't expect it.
And just in that movie in general, she's great in that.
She's so good, and in ways that I thought were not going to work. I thought that movie was going to be really cheesy and silly. And then she shows up and does crap like this. I'm on board.
And then by the end of the movie, I'm fucking crying. What the fuck?
But those are my three, Trent. I know I have a long list of moments, so let's just take a brief moment and talk about some that you haven't mentioned yet.
So one of them that I mentioned when we were doing the episode, but we haven't mentioned this movie yet. We covered The French Connection earlier on this year, and it is the sequence. I know this has been referenced in other movies, but it's a sequence where Gene Hackman is kind of he's following a guy in the New York subway system, and he is like surreptitiously trying to hide himself. He's trying to hide the fact that he's following some guy, but the guy kind of knows that he's following him, so he's going on and off of the subway car. He notices the guy that he's following. He throws something away in the trash can, so he wants to go over and look at the trash can, but he also wants to go onto the subway car and off the subway car. It's just this weird cat and mouse thing. The sequence is so great, and I've never seen it done better in a movie.
Yeah, it was really hard to find places for The French Connection because we watched so many good movies this year.
You could even say The French Connection, the car chase scene when he's following the train.
Yes,
it's great.
It lives up to the expectation.
Definitely. I had a hard time not including something from The French Connection in anything, but hey, here it is.
Yeah, and the other one that is kind of related to that, another kind of chase scene, I wrote down the chariot race in Ben-Hur.
Totally.
Because it's one of those sequences that you've heard about your whole life, and then when you actually experience it, it's like, okay, I fucking get it.
It lives up to the expectation.
I get it.
And the more we read about that movie, the more we read about that sequence, the more impressive it was. Number one, that nobody fucking died while filming it. Jesus. Another one for me was, of course, one that I think you were looking forward to the most, But it's in the movie Magic Mike XXL where
Oh, yes.
Joe Manganiello does his little Backstreet Boys dance
Perfect.
in the gas station. It's so fucking funny. I don't care that it's a male stripping movie. I had a great time watching that movie. Go to Patreon. We covered it on box set. It's such a great time.
Magic Mike XXL is the perfect, stupid, fun movie.
That would be another one for like hotel movie. You
That
would
is,
just throw
yes,
it on. Yeah.
absolutely. If we are in a hotel now and Magic Mike XXL is on, you better believe we're watching that. Well, another one I put down was another from Patreon. On the Wayback Machine, we watched Mr. Mom, and I wrote down the soap opera dream.
Yes, that was another one of mine where he has been watching The Young and the Restless and he has this dream sequence where he gets shot.
It's so silly.
Oh my God.
Silly and perfect and wonderful.
That was going to be my final one I was going to mention. So yeah. Fuck. All right. Going from one silly award to another silly award. This one, oh, I love this one so much. And I had a really hard time with this one too. This one is the Peter Stormare Spirit Award. And if you don't know who Peter Stormare is, yes, you do. He is a man who is still relevant to today. He actually was doing some promotion for the new fucking Call of Duty game for Xbox. Go and look up the ads for that stuff. It's really fucking hilarious. But he is the crazy Russian in the movie Armageddon. He was in, I think, the second Jurassic Park movie, which, hey, we covered this year.
He was in the second John Wick movie.
Yeah, you absolutely know the man. He is a man that shows up on screen and demands your attention. He was the devil in fucking Constantine, one of the best depictions of the devil I've ever seen in my life.
He usually shows up, acts weird and crazy,
Yeah.
and then he's gone.
And then he's gone. And this category is this is actors that embody what Peter Stormare does in his career. He's never the star, but you always remember him and everything that he does. So Betsy, what do you got for the Peter Stormare Spirit Award?
This one was hard this year.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to agree with me that there were, let's say, 2 movies in particular that we had multiple people
Yep, I'm nodding my head.
very eligible and desirable in this category.
I think I know exactly the 2 movies that we're talking about, but go ahead.
So this was not easy this year because I could have just picked 3 actors from one movie, and I didn't want to do that. Ultimately, I picked 1 movie, 2 actors, and then another actor from a separate movie.
All right.
So the 2 from the same movie. From Natural Born Killers,
Yep.
Tommy Lee Jones. So
You might as well just say the other one now.
the second one I picked from that movie, and this was tough. I was trying to decide which one I wanted. I ultimately went with Robert Downey Jr.
Okay, all right.
Because, like I said, it was those 2, and then the runner-up in this category was Tom Sizemore. Because
Yeah,
those,
from that movie anyway.
Those 3 guys are trying to out-crazy each other in this movie. But I ultimately went with Robert Downey Jr. because I don't think I've ever seen him do a movie like this. I also don't think I've ever seen Tommy Lee Jones do a movie like this.
Hell, we could just make a category for, hey, it's the Natural Born Killers Spirit Award, or like
Seriously.
the craziest fucking cast.
Or the 3-way tie for this, because seriously, all 3 of them
we could have chose all
qualified.
3 exactly.
My other nominee, same thing. I had 2 people to pick from. I had Robert Patrick from Striptease, but I really also wanted to put Burt Reynolds in it because they're both absurd in this movie. So ultimately, I couldn't pick everybody. It's Robert Patrick from Striptease, Robert Downey Jr. from Natural Born Killers, and Tommy Lee Jones from Natural Born Killers. My ultimate winner for the 2024 Peter Stormare Spirit Award, however, goes to Robert Patrick from Striptease, because since we watched that movie in April, the number of times you and I have yelled at each other, I said no sugar.
No sugar.
He is this guy I'm used to playing the villain, the cop, the really intense dude. And he shows up in this movie as fucking Florida Man.
He embodies the idea of what you think about when you say the phrase Florida Man.
And I was so surprised by it, and I so enjoyed seeing him get to cut loose in this movie. And because I had these other two guys that almost cancel each other out because they're from the same movie.
It's so hard to pick from those.
It's so hard. I had to go with Robert Patrick. So I think we're probably going to have some crossover here, Trent.
Yeah.
What are your nominees for this
I
category?
had such a hard time picking my 3 for this, and I chose specifically to not include multiple actors from the same movie just because, hey, we were probably going to mention them anyway, but still. I'll start off with the overlap here. I chose Tommy Lee Jones for my guy because he is acting crazy. He is not reacting to any of the shit happening to him. He wears funny clothes. He has a weird mustache. He talks weird. He looks weird. Everything. It's so great.
And it's a year after he won an Academy Award.
What the fuck, man? My second one being Robert Patrick in Striptease because, yes, Florida Man. Go and listen to that episode. We were flabbergasted by his performance in this, and I've never seen him do anything like this. My third one, however, is not from those 2 movies. My third one is Jake Busey from Starship Troopers.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you didn't mention that because, good God, I was transfixed by the guy. Not only because, yeah, he's also a little weirdo in that, but he also embodies his father's manic energy, and he's just channeling it through Jake Busey, his son. It's the very definition of somebody who shows up, acts crazy, and then leaves. And I'll be honest with you, Betsy, I did not choose a winner for this up until this very moment because I could not decide what it is up until this very moment where, yes, it is Robert Patrick because we cannot stop saying that phrase we just said. I said no sugar.
Trent, in the 4 years we have been doing this show, we've only been doing this category for 3 of the 4.
Yes.
We have never picked the same person.
Yes, you're right.
But the fact that he is now, I guess, technically a double winner because you get both awards.
That's right.
Like, if we both pick you, you get 2. We're picking from different nominees, but we pick the same guy because
It could be anybody.
it could be anybody. And you're right. He just has stuck with us in so many weird little ways that I don't know how you could pick anybody but him.
Also, count however many mentions of the movie Striptease in all of our categories here. It's insane.
It's a terrible movie, but also it's the greatest movie I watched all
it
year.
9 months ago, for fuck's sake. It's the first movie we covered after our Oscar special this year.
Yes, we always like a hard pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the glitz and glamour of the Academy Awards
Into
to
the gutter.
some nonsense. And let me give you a heads up. This year will be no different when we get to it.
That's right.
But Trent, that leaves us with our final award of the day. And it is the hardest one to choose, I think, unless you feel extremely strongly about something in particular.
I don't. This is, again, one of the hardest things to really decide here because there's so many great movies to choose from and for different reasons.
And that category, of course, being the favorite new movie you watched in 2024. So from all of the movies, every single thing, which was well into the double digits for both of us.
Yeah.
What 3 movies did you ultimately nominate?
So a couple of these are movies that we haven't really mentioned all that much. We have mentioned them. And there's even one of these award shows where my winner of favorite new movie that I watched had not come up in any other category. But this year is different than that one. I have talked about these 3 movies, and some of these even won some categories. So, starting off, number 1 nominee is The Omen. All the reasons that I said, The Omen impressed me so much. I was not expecting to love that movie. Gregory Peck in that movie, it just lends that movie so much gravitas and depth and just acting prowess that you believe everything going on in that movie, even though it is ridiculous. I fucking love The Omen.
That one almost made my cut, but
I'm really
it didn't
surprised.
quite.
We'll get there. Number 2 is a movie that at the end of the episode, I said, no, it was at the beginning of the episode. I said this one might be one of my favorite movies I have seen all year. That movie is Long Shot. a movie we did for Real Love that I knew hardly anything about, but by the end of it, I fell in love with the entire concept, with all these characters. I had such a great time watching it. I laughed so hard at it. Long Shot is on my list. And number 3, for the same reason, I said it in the episode, I love this movie, and I probably shouldn't love this movie. My third selection is Freaky Friday.
Oh my God.
Yes, for all of the reasons that I said in the episode and right here, Freaky Friday, I had such a great time. I was so surprised by it. I felt the nostalgia so deep. The pop punk was flowing through my veins. I could not stop. I could not stop thinking about the movie and wanting to revisit it. It just spoke to me so much.
And you are not the target demographic for that movie.
Absolutely not. I love that movie so much, and I had such a great time. But Betsy, I had to choose the one that my heart, and I cannot believe that I'm saying this. My number 1 movie of the year is The Omen. It's head and shoulders the most impressive movie on this list. It is the movie that has stuck with me. It is the movie that I just want to revisit and just live in because it's so fucked up, but not in a way that is cheesy, not in a way that is pushing me away at all, because we don't really like a whole lot of scary movies or these genre
saying
movies.
That, but then we keep picking them in our year-end awards.
Yeah.
The first year we did this, we both loved Midsommar. You know, it's not that weird anymore that we actually are finding we like it. And it's another 70s movie, which we've also said maybe we don't like the 70s movies, but I'm finding we can be wrong.
The more time that has gone on here, the more time that we have spent in the 1970s world of cinema, the more I'm just falling in love with all of this stuff. And I'm very surprised that I'm saying The Omen here, because I have a whole other list of movies that I could have chosen from, and these are my 3. I'm not gonna go back on it now.
This is a hard category, as you said. This is the hardest category because we did watch a lot of really good movies this year. And as I said, The Omen almost made it to my 3 because I was surprised to really enjoy that movie. I thought I might like it, or, maybe I would be disappointed the way we were when we watched The Exorcist last year.
Yeah.
But we were both really into The Omen, and I would like to rewatch it. So we're going to see what happens.
I was cheering by the end of The Omen. What the fuck? What's wrong with me?
But ultimately, I did narrow it down to 3 movies, all 3 of which I have mentioned already. There's nobody here that's
surprises.
coming out of left field.
All right.
Though I had some ones on the short list that have not been mentioned anywhere else.
Same.
My first one, thematically, where you're living in that headspace for The Omen, I picked Late Night with the Devil.
Fucking A, yeah.
Because it is just one of those movies that we put on the list months in advance. We said, we don't have a place for it right now. We're going to put a pin in it. We're going to do it for Never Scream It.
We were sold on it as soon as we watched the first trailer for it. We were going to watch it no matter what. And it lived up to the hype.
It stuck the landing for me. So I felt like it had to go on this list. The second one I've mentioned many times, and that is The Conversation. The thing I was just saying to you about the 70s, I have this weird expectation that I don't like movies from the 70s because I've just watched enough that have disappointed me. But as we are making intentional choices to include more stuff from the 70s.
Or even unintentional choices with the Wayback Machine sending us to the 70s. The Omen was one of these movies that the Wayback Machine sent us to, and wow.
And yeah, I'm just finding that I need to be more open to it because there's stuff like this that I've been wasting my fucking life not watching. And I can't wait to do it again. Now that we're getting this out of the way, I am free to do what I want.
That's right.
And my third one, ultimately, I think because it was so many of these categories, it popped up so many times that the sum of its parts, I picked Long Shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. It is endearing. It is unexpected. These are people that shouldn't work together as a couple, and yet I was totally on board. It never went so stupid that I didn't believe it. You got emotional. This was so out of left field that ultimately it had to go in my favorite watches of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, this was extremely difficult to pick from these three. But ultimately, I am on the same ride that you're on because I picked Late Night with the Devil.
Holy shit, Betsy.
So for the first time ever, you and I both picked a horror movie as our favorite first time watch of the year at the Never Seen It Movie Awards.
And again, Betsy and I have not coordinated any of these categories, any of the selections. I had no idea anything that Betsy was about to say. Wow. So there we are. That's the end of the award show. Holy shit, Betsy. We did it.
What a year, Trent.
What a year. Like all of these categories could go any fucking where. And every year we do this. We kind of take stock of, okay, what are the categories that really speak to us here? Or do we want to keep all the categories here? Do we want to add anything? Is there anything that really spoke to us that, like the one year we did most A24 movie, that was very unique to that particular year, but it just fit.
Because we watched like 6 A24 movies.
Right, and they were
unintentionally.
They were all weird and unique in their own way, which is why we created that category for that year. I think Best Hotel Movie is a great category for us because we always talk about it, and it's one that we can probably have every single year.
I think some years we might end up having like a dad movie because there's always...
I've thought about that,
like,
but not every year will we have that.
No, not every year. But like this year we watched The Longest Yard over on Patreon.
Yep.
And I literally saw my dad the other night and I was like, you've seen The Longest Yard, right? And he had so many things to say.
Of course.
It's like, yeah, because it's a dad movie.
Dads love Burt Reynolds.
Dads do love Burt Reynolds. I don't know that they'd love striptease, but maybe.
That's right. He was in that too. Oh, man.
But yeah, it's also just a great way for us to go back and really think about all the things that we kind of learned on our journey about ourselves watching movies this year. Like I just said, we're finding that maybe we do have a place in our hearts for 1970s cinema. Maybe we do have this growing appreciation for horror and all of the things that come along with it in a way that people say, oh, horror, it's so niche. And bleh. No, there's so much there that can be really moving and emotional and scary, but not in like a terrifying way, but in a makes you think kind of way.
Well, Betsy, I don't think that you intended to set me up for a great segue, but I'm glad that you did because we're proud to announce on our Patreon, we are launching another brand new show. We're going to be retiring one of our shows. We're going to be putting it on the shelf for now. Box Set is going to go away for the time being. However, we're going to replace it with a brand new show that we are calling Never Scream It 101. Betsy, why don't you describe what this is going to be in a little bit of detail here?
We'll elaborate more on this in an upcoming special announcement episode. But basically, if you enjoy what we've been talking about in October, when we finally spend some time on like horror movies, body horror, scary movies, slasher movies, if you like that stuff, we're going to be doing an entire series, an entire show dedicated to really getting into the mindset, getting to understand why it is that people love horror and watching those iconic movies that frankly we have never seen and don't understand.
We just don't have an understanding.
We don't have the language.
We don't have that world understood yet. And the reason why we're calling it Never Scream It 101 is because we're going to be going into the origins of a bunch of different horror subgenres and discovering, okay, where are we coming from here? Where did all of this stuff get its start? Just so that we can get an education behind us and have the knowledge to actually speak on this stuff with some kind of authority. It is a year-round show. We're going to do it once a month on patreon.com/neverseenitpod. Stay tuned. We're going to be putting out another special where we're going to go into more detail here, but suffice it to say, we're very excited for this new show up on Patreon. So if you haven't done it already, go to patreon.com/neverseenitpod. First episode is dropping in January, so we hope that you join us over there.
And yeah, as evidenced by the fact we both just picked a movie from that genre.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
Which is why I pointed out We did not coordinate this one bit. This is
No.
not this is not an elaborate promotion
I
for
promise
the new
you,
show.
when Trent picked The Omen, my mouth was agape because I
Yeah.
didn't expect that to be his favorite first-time movie of the year.
Same. I did not expect you to pick Late Night with the Devil.
Neither did I.
No. So that's what is really making me excited about this new venture that we're doing. So we hope that everybody joins us over there. It's going to be a great time. All of the other shows that we're doing are going to continue. We're going to talk more in our special that comes out, I think, later on this week.
We're also still planning on doing Never Scream It in October.
Absolutely.
As part of our main show. That's a staple. That's not going anywhere.
That is not going away. Never Scream It will continue in October every single year. But with that, Betsy, I'm going to thank you again for being my co-host and my wife for this show and in all of my life. Thank you again for being here for me and with me.
Oh, thank you, Trent. I have lots of fun doing this with you.
So do I. So with that, we're going to say goodbye to you. This has been another episode of Never Seen It. Come back next week for a brand new episode for another movie we haven't decided yet. With that, my name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
We'll see you then.
Happy New Year!